It's Ron G. Holland again, and this week we're talking about the Entrepreneurial Olympics, not the Olympic Games, not the Paralympics, but the Entrepreneurial Olympics. Now the Entrepreneurial Olympic Games is a little bit different because unlike the Olympic Games, you've got hundreds of people everywhere you look cheering you along. You've got none of that as an entrepreneur. You're on your own. In actual fact, as an entrepreneur, you're the one who's got to be doing the cheering. You've got to be encouraging and cheering your people along, your staff, your partners and everybody. Nobody's going to be cheering you along, right? And you've got to get your mind around that. So you've got to sustain yourself on your own, and you've got to remember this is a marathon, it's not a sprint. You've got to learn how to pace yourself. You've got to learn how to sustain yourself with mental and spiritual vitamins. Read the positive books. Get the tapes and the audios around you. Start programming your mind for success. You've got to do this for yourself. This is powerful stuff. Nobody cheering you along. Look around me. Nobody's cheering me as an entrepreneur. This is something you've got to do on your own. Nobody's going to be patting you on your back as you go down the mile straight. You've got to do all the back slapping, right? Let me tell you who motivates the motivators. One of my favourite, he's been written up as the #1 explorer in the world, Ranulph Fiennes. The only guy to go to the North and South Pole on foot. He'd done it all on his own, and go to the top of Mount Everest. And further, after he'd had a triple heart bypass, he did 5 marathons, back-to-back marathons on 5 different continents, one day after another. When he was being interviewed, somebody said, "How on earth did you get to the top of Mount Everest after a triple heart bypass surgery?" And he looked deadpan to the cameraman and he said, "I put one foot in front of the other." And that's what you got to do as an entrepreneur. You've got to put one foot in front of the other. You got to keep going, right? And you're going to be having games with banks, employees, marketing, raising money. That's the game of an entrepreneur, the entrepreneurial games. But this is something you got to do on your own. The biggest game of all is with your own mind, and your own mind will be telling you to quit 3 feet from the goal, but you got to keep going. You got to find a way to make this happen. Set small goals as well as big goals, not just one goal that you want to be a millionaire, but small goals that you can congratulate yourself on as you get there. This is ever so exciting, and I want to give you one more little story, and it's a story out of nature. And you probably look up and see birds flying over in a V formation, and there's always a lead bird. He's the leader, but when he gets tired, he drops back to the back of the V, and somebody else takes over. Now the thing is, as an entrepreneur, you've got nobody to take over. So even when you get tired, you keep going. You keep on keeping on. This is the important thing, right? So you've got to be a self-motivator. The buck stops with you. This is absolutely incredibly important. And just one more little story. You've heard the story of the tortoise and the hare, right? You remember the hare thought he would win the race, so he had a little sleep, and the tortoise just kept going and going, and he got over the line first, and suddenly the hare woke up. So you're like the tortoise and the hare. You just keep going and motivating yourself. Remember that Steady won all the races, plugging and drilling all day long. Remember, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Learn how to pace yourself, sustain yourself with those mental and spiritual vitamins, and you're going to get there. Being an entrepreneur is ever so exciting, but you're on your own. You haven't got the cheering crowds. You're doing this for yourself, and it's very, very exciting, but it's a mental game, and you're going to win it, and with my help you're going to win it even quicker. Ron G. Holland signing out for this week. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week, and remember, I might be lonely, but I'm happy. See you next week. It's Ron G. Holland again, right? Is that working? Have you got both lots of sound working? Yeah, don't get that in the video, Mikey. That'll spoil it. And I'm only going to do this once.